Hey there, fellow gamer. You sent this one in, and it looks like you're trying to figure out if Unknown 9 Awakening is worth your precious gaming time.
Yeah, and honestly, there's been a bit of a buzz around this one.
Is it hype or a hidden gem?
That's what we're here to find out, right? We're diving deep into Unknown 9 Awakening.
That's right. And we've got a serious stack of intel to sort through on this one.
We're talking in-depth reviews, player comments, even spotted a sale price that's got tempting written all over it.
Ooh, okay.
Right.
So maybe good time to snag it if it turns out this deep dive convinces us.
Definitely. Let's see what we're working with.
First things first, when you skim through these reviews, one word keeps popping up: throwback.
Yeah, it's like everyone's getting those early Uncharted or Assassin's Creed vibes,
Okay, so classic action-adventure gameplay.
but with a supernatural twist.
All right, so imagine that classic formula, but with some added mystical spice. What do we know about the story?
Well, we've got Haruna, our protagonist.
She's on a revenge mission, right? Those are always fun.
Yeah, but reviewers are saying there's more to her than meets the eye. She's struggling with these powers, coming to terms with her past.
And did I hear right? Her voice actress is Anya Chalotra.
Yep, that's right. Yennefer from The Witcher herself.
Now that's some serious talent right there.
And the reviewers agree. They're saying she brings a real depth to the character.
Okay, I'm intrigued. But we have to talk about the stepping ability everyone's going on about.
So basically, imagine this Haruna can project her consciousness into enemies.
Wait, hold on. So like mind control.
Kind of. It's like
Oh.
temporary possession. She takes control for a short time and can use their strengths against them.
Okay, that sounds insane. In a good way. I mean,
That's the general consensus.
The-
People are saying the possibilities are pretty wild.
the reviews mentioned forcing enemies to shoot each other, triggering explosives, even chaining possessions together for these crazy takedowns.
It's like the game gives you the tools to choreograph your own action sequences.
Oh man, that sounds like it could be really satisfying.
Reviewers who were lukewarm on the story or graphics were still raving about stepping.
Speaking of graphics, let's be real, that was a bit of a sore spot for some people, right?
Yeah, looks over in screenshots. Popped up more than a few times.
Ouch. So what we're hearing is the environments are stunning. Think sweeping vistas, detailed architecture.
But the character models, the animations. That's where things get a little rough.
So breathtaking castles from afar, but maybe avert your eyes during those close-ups.
Pretty much. But hey, at least the world sounds intriguing, right? We've got secret societies, ancient prophecies.
Ooh, this whole hidden world thing, it's a classic for a reason.
Definitely. But that's where things get interesting. Reviewers were a bit divided on the whole mythology thing.
As in too much going on.
Some called it a bit convoluted, even derivative.
Yeah.
You know, secret societies, chosen ones.
Okay, so maybe not winning any originality awards there. But what about Haruna's story? Did that land?
That seems to be the saving grace. Reviewers connected with her struggles, her growth as a character.
It's like that saying, people might not remember what you said, but they'll remember how you made them feel.
And it sounds like Unknown 9 understands that. It's not just about saving the world. It's about Haruna's personal journey.
Now that's what I like to hear. I'm ready to get invested in this character.
And the developers really leaned into Haruna's heritage, weaving Indian culture and aesthetics into the world building.
Now that's something you don't see every day. It's always awesome when games venture beyond the usual settings and perspectives.
Absolutely. And reviewers are saying it's done well, avoiding those tired tropes like the white savior narrative.
This is Haruna's story told on her terms. And having Anya Chalotra voice the character just adds another layer of authenticity.
Speaking of authenticity, what about those collectibles? You know, those little breadcrumbs developers leave for us?
Yeah, gotta catch them all right. But they can be a bit hit or miss. Some players love them, some find them tedious.
Right. But in Unknown 9, they're more than just trophies.
Really?
They actually flesh out the world's backstory and hint at this larger Unknown 9 universe the developers are building.
So it's like rewarding exploration with lore.
Exactly. You'll find documents, lore entries, things that give you a deeper dive into the world.
Sounds like a nice reward for those who love to explore every nook and cranny.
Reviewers who were into unraveling the mystery really appreciated those little nuggets of information.
Okay, so we've got compelling gameplay, a protagonist with depth, and a world rich with detail. But no game is perfect, right?
Right.
We've got those visuals that are a bit hit or miss, and a story some found derivative. What about the gameplay itself? Any other quirks we should be aware of?
Well, one thing that came up was the camera. Let's just say it has a mind of its own.
Oh no, not the dreaded camera issues. There's nothing more frustrating than battling the camera instead of the bad guys.
And it sounds like it could be a real problem here,
Yeah.
especially since timing and positioning are so important for those stepping maneuvers.
Ugh, it's like the one thing you don't want messing up in a game that relies on precision.
Right. But even with that frustration, reviewers who were hooked on the core gameplay were willing to look past it.
It's a testament to how engaging that stepping mechanic must be. It's like the game throws these flaws at you, but then you pull off some insane move and you're hooked again.
That's a great way to put it. So where does this leave us? Unknown 9. Awakening, flawed but fascinating.
The million-dollar question, should you play it?
I think it comes down to this. Are you someone who needs their games to be visually stunning, technically flawless?
Because if so, Unknown 9 might leave you wanting more.
But if you're like me, if you value innovative gameplay, a character-driven story, and you're willing to look past some rough edges,
Then Unknown 9 might be right up your alley.
think of it like that indie band you discover. They might not have the polish of the chart toppers, but their music just clicks with you.
And who knows, maybe diving into this flawed but ambitious game is your ticket to a whole new universe of entertainment.
Don't forget those books, comics, and podcasts all connected to the Unknown 9 world. This game could be your entry point to something much bigger.
It's a gamble for sure, but sometimes those are the most rewarding ones.
Exactly. Sometimes the most satisfying gaming experiences come from the titles that dare to be different flaws and all.
So ask yourself, are you ready to step into the unknown?
And that's where the game finds its heart.
Yeah.
You know, it's the smaller moments, the relationships, the emotional core that resonates.
Yeah, you're not just getting some generic save-the-world plot. It sounds like you're really invested in Haruna's journey.
Exactly. Her struggles, her growth.
Yeah.
And it goes beyond just the writing.
What do you mean?
Well, remember we mentioned Haruna's heritage. The developers really leaned into that,
Okay. Yeah.
weaving Indian culture and aesthetics into the world,
Yeah.
especially early on.
Now, that's something you don't see every day. It's always refreshing when games venture beyond those usual settings and perspectives.
Right. And the reviewers felt like it was done right,
Yeah.
you know? They avoided those tired tropes, that whole white savior thing you see so often.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
This is Haruna's story, told on her terms. And having Anya Chalotra, who shares that heritage voice, the character, just adds another layer of depth.
Okay, now that's attention to detail. It's one thing to tell a diverse story, but it's another to have the people who lived that story be a part of telling it.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Now, before we move on, there's one more thing I wanted to touch on.
What's that?
Collectibles.
Oh, boy, here we go.
Yeah.
You know, some players love them, some find them tedious.
Right. But in Unknown 9, they're more than just trophies.
Really? How so?
They're like pieces of the puzzle. You find documents, lore entries, things that flesh out the world's backstory.
So they actually add to the experience.
Exactly. And they even hint at this larger Unknown 9 universe the developers are building.
Interesting. So it's like they're rewarding exploration with actual lore.
Yeah, exactly. A few reviewers said the game occasionally goes a little overboard with the info dumps.
Yeah, there's a fine line between intriguing world building and just overloading you with information.
For sure. But if you're someone who loves to unravel a good mystery, piecing together the history through those fragments.
Unknown 9 might just scratch that itch.
Exactly. Okay, so we've talked about the highs. Compelling gameplay, a protagonist with depth, a world rich with detail.
But no game is perfect. We've got those visuals that are hit or miss, a story that some found derivative. But what about the gameplay itself? Any other quirks we should be aware of?
Well, there's one more thing. A few reviewers mentioned the camera. Let's just say it has a mind of its own.
Oh no, not the dreaded camera issues. What were they saying?
Mostly that it gets in the way, especially during combat.
Huh. Nothing takes you out of the moment faster than battling the camera instead of the bad guys.
Right, and it sounds like it could be a real problem here, especially with the stepping mechanic.
Oh yeah, I can see that timing and positioning seem pretty crucial for those maneuvers.
Exactly, and if the camera's acting up,
Yeah, it could really throw you off.
a few reviewers said it took some getting used to.
So another technical hiccup to add to the list? Right alongside those PS3 era graphics.
You said it. But you know what? Even with those frustrations, the people who really connected with the core gameplay, they were willing to forgive a lot.
I guess when you're pulling off those mind control moves, it's easy to forget about a little camera wonkiness.
Maybe they were just too busy having fun with stepping.
Exactly. So where does that leave us? Unknown 9. Awakening.
Flawed, but fascinating. That's how I'd put it.
The million-dollar question. Should you play it? What do you think?
I think it comes down to this. Are you someone who needs their games to be visually stunning?
Right. technically flawless.
Exactly.
Yeah,
If that's you, Unknown 9 might leave you wanting more.
but
But if you're like me, if you value innovative gameplay, a character-driven story, and you're willing to look past some rough edges,
then you might just fall in love with this one.
it's a gamble, no doubt. But sometimes those are the most rewarding ones.
That's the truth. And you never know. This could be the start of something big.
With the books and the comics,
Yeah.
who knows? 5 years from now, everyone might be raving about the Unknown 9 universe.
And you'll be the one saying, I told you so.
Right. So, what are you waiting for? Jump in. Take a chance. Step into the unknown.
I love it. Well, that's all the time we have for this deep dive, but the conversation doesn't have to end here. Head over to our website, let us know your thoughts on Unknown 9, Awakening, or any other games you think deserve the deep dive treatment.
We love hearing from you guys.
Until next time, happy gaming.